Hello and welcome to my recap of Game 3 between Ueno Asami and Nakamura Sumire in the recent female Kisei title match. The series score is tied 1-1 right now. It's a best of 3. This is the final game no matter what. Whoever wins this wins the series, wins the title. In the first game, Ueno Asami made a big comeback, eventually capturing Sumire's group, winning handily. In the second game, Sumire clutched it up in the end, won by half a point. It was very exciting, both of those games. But this one was even more intense, even more exciting, significantly more crazy. It took me a long time to understand what was going on here. But let's dive right into it. I'll show you the fun fireworks in this game. Asami was black, Sumire was white. Asami started with 2-3-4s. Sumire started with a approach to the upper left, played this classic Joseki. Asami played a one space high here, hoping to defend her upper right corner and put pressure on White in the top side. White reduced from the right side, stopping these black fourth line stones from becoming an influence in a Moyo. Black came to reduce the bottom left. White pincered. Black tried to knight's move to gain more of a base for herself. White pincers again. She really wants to build in the bottom right and treat her 4-4 stone pretty lightly. So when black jumps up here, she plays not just the small knights back off or one space jump, but large knight away to show that that 4-4 stone is not needing to connect to any of the other white stones for white to have a good position here. Still, if white would play the 3-3 next, that would be a good sized territory, bigger than if she would small knights backed off. So black takes the 3-3, and white takes an enclosure in the bottom right. Now Asami decides she doesn't want to let Sumire get a big Moyo again, like she did in the last two games, and directly jumps in. This gives Sumire an opportunity to take a double enclosure very naturally, but Asami thought if she can jump up, then although White tries to attack her, she can counterattack. She can keep some pressure back on White on the bottom side. She can even threaten to link up. She can link up on the second line unless Sumire plays accurately here, which she does. She blocks like this, bump first, and then when black peeps, then block. Now black can only run to the center, something like that. If black would try to cut ever, then of course, then this Hane would capture because of black's shortage of liberties that they gain from pushing through and cutting. So black runs, and white plays this blocking here. Black has to Kosumi here. If she would instead play another move, somehow defending her weak group, then white had this Tetsuji lined up, where when black blocks in the center, white plays here, threatening double Atari, and then can save her stone on the second line due to this second line block. So this was all set up from Sumire on the bottom side. That's why Asami had to respond like this. And Sumire chooses to cut these two black groups, so not allowing them to connect by honeying on the first line. Normally, this would not be a very good strategic choice because it's hard to get value out of attacking these two black groups. They're both out. They're pretty all right. However, in this case, this Hane is still relatively valuable because it's threatening to capture these two stones, and that would secure a base for the white group. So this is just as much of a defensive move as an aggressive one, this cutting method. Asami doesn't want to save these two stones and give Sumire more moves with her group in the center. She'd rather play to prioritize not being surrounded and trying to make sure that Sumire has a chance of being surrounded herself. Of course, this leaves some cutting points for black, having two knight's moves in a row like this, but she's relying on the fact that white also has a cutting point. If white would directly try some crazy cutting method like this, then black's cut here would work in the sense that white's ladder is not working for white. So white chooses to jump here, fix that cutting point first, threaten the cutting points of black on the outside, and black has to defend them on her own time. She plays here, maybe utilizing the knight's move weakness of white in the corner later, but there's no threat to cut or kill anything right now, so white can tenuki, and Sumire has a really interesting attacking idea now, which is this move. peep here. It's quite strange. Asami plays Kosumi, and that looked weird to me the first time I saw this game. I thought, why don't you just block? The thing is, Sumire is lining up to play this move in Sente and try to take an outside benefit. So even though this corner is really good for Asami, Sumire just wanted a little bit of outside benefit. Why? Because it makes it so that White can set up a ladder breaker to make this cut work. Now, if Black can't ladder, because White has some stones here, Black will be split into two groups and have a really uncomfortable time defending. That's why Asami played here. Now, any ladder breaker that Sumire tries is going to be less Sente against the corner, less forcing against the corner. That's why Sumire quits. She doesn't want to make a ladder breaker anymore, but she just attacks this black group from the outside and hopes to gain in the right. Asami plays this invasion, just one-time exchange, I don't really understand why, and then plays on the right side. If Asami would just defend, naturally, defend her cuts like this, then you can imagine Sumire just taking the right side on a very large scale. This is an example of a successful attack where you just force your opponent to spend a few too many moves defending than was really necessary, and in the meantime, you get a large territory for yourself. So Asami dares. She directly takes the right side and says, go ahead and try to attack me, Sumire. I don't think I'm that weak. Sumire says, well, you just gave me a new target. I'll just attack them both. She caps that side and looks to cut in the center later. Asami once again aims at Sumire's weaknesses first. She invades like this, and she's looking to use the two-space weakness, maybe break into the side, attack the whole white group on this side, attack the whole white group in this corner. There's like so many things that Asami can aim for from here, but Sumire has a really good defensive move that she finds of kick like this. Now, Asami descends to the corner like that, and that actually causes her some trouble later, where if she had just connected like this, she could have been a lot more stable in the center. Of course, the problem is that when White connects with the tiger's mouth, Asami can feel that this whole variation is just a failure, where Sumire can take the whole right side and still have a big attack on her group. So instead, she wants to go break the right side and hope to put a counter pressure on the White group in the corner and on the side. But White plays attach here, and when Black tries to run with Kosumi, plays this move, forcing Black to play an empty triangle and getting a chance to make a split knights move in the center. This is already, you can consider, a successful attack for White. When White descends here, White defends the corner and breaks the Black shape in the center here, where Black has so many cutting points, it's definitely going to be a hassle for Black in the future to defend this group. But for now, Asami just ignores those cutting points. She runs to the center like this, making sure that her group isn't surrounded, and maybe aiming back at the white cutting points on the side here. But Sumire spots a chance, and she doesn't let go of those very easily. She peeps directly, looking to capture the right side or the bottom side. Sumire tends to go for this kind of very tactical thing, even when some other pros might not. Might be patient, wait a moment, I can still do that later sort of idea. Sumire just goes in. And Asami has to use Tetsuji to help her out here. She has to have some fancy trick up her sleeve, or this is going to be big trouble. So she tries this move. This is a common response to the double peep. It's a common way to attack a diagonal shape in all cases. And Sumire takes the boldest stance. She blocks on top, and when Black connects here, she pushes through. When Black pushes herself, making some cutting points, Sumire connects. And when Black blocks like this, asking to connect, Sumire cuts. Black connects, and Sumire plays Atari here. From here, Asami pushes, Sumire blocks, and Asami plays turn here. This is an interesting move. Normally you'd expect Black to exploit the weaknesses of White in the corner to save her group on the right side. So maybe to Atari here, and turn, chasing these White 4 stones. It looks like they have only 2 liberties, but actually Sumire can play this Hane in Sente, threatening to connect to the bottom side, and at this moment those 4 stones, which looked like they had only 2 liberties, have 3. No matter how, if White plays here, the black stones are captured. Black cannot play Atari and then Atari again because White could capture the black stone. So Black turns here, hoping to gain more liberties with her group on the side. As long as she can have 3 liberties, then she can beat the White 4 stones in the capture race on the bottom. And Sumire thinks she has to fall back here and allow Black to cut. Because if White would connect here, then Black could try to chase and chase. And it looks hard for White to capture these stones on the side. But there's a Tesuji, which is to play here. Actually, even though Black can make this Hane, if you would just Hane and answer both of these, it's the same situation. But in this case, it's Black to move, so Black would capture. But you can do something different. This is called the Raccoon Belly Petting Tesuji. I'm not kidding. That's its name. You play Peep here. And if Black Hanes again, you play the other Peep. And you can fill the liberties of this Black, no matter how, if it would connect, and you can Atari it. There's no way for this Black to save itself. Even if it runs here, you can cut. So this Black would actually be dead in this case. This is a situation where the Raccoon Belly Tesuji could have allowed White to connect here. Then Black would actually need to Hane one more time. If White Hanes, then that Raccoon Belly wouldn't work. You would want this 74 move to instead be at T9, which of course would be insane to play right off the bat. But if it goes like this, then Black could capture those 4 stones on the bottom. So instead, the correct trading was for White to connect here, Black to Hane, and then for White to come back to capture in the corner, and have Black simply limp back with her group on the right side to take a base and allow White to run in the center. Instead, we saw Sumire immediately capture because she didn't see the Raccoon Belly petting Tesuji. Always fun to say that one. And Black can make this cut, can Atari in the center. Sumire can Atari like this and connect, but Black Ataris this way and answers. And you can see now, it originally started, Sumire had cut the right side and the Black bottom side and was intending to attack them both. Now, the right side is very strong. Of course, Sumire's corner is still intact since she spent the move on it, but she has a new weak group in the center. It's even weaker than Black's group on the bottom side. And in the global situation, White even has another weak group on the bottom side herself, so White can be quite busy from now. Black has a lead in the fighting. Okay, but Sumire can continue to play, of course. She runs at her group, making sure to not be surrounded. Black plays this bamboo. If she would directly run, then White could break this bamboo, and this would be devastating for Black to suddenly be cut, and now definitely the Black group is weaker than the White one. If it's like that, Black would be dead. So Black has to bamboo, and White runs, and Black runs. Now White should not be surrounded on the bottom side. She plays here, and Black continues to run, and White continues to run. Everybody's running in the center, but this running is, it must have felt a little suspect to Yuno Asami, because the bottom side group can be surrounded now. Asami attaches, and this bottom side group is surrounded, although White, has plenty of weaknesses, Black weaknesses to work with. This is definitely a very dangerous situation for White. So Yuno Asami goes for it, jumps in, and from here, the game will be chaos. Black forces White to find some crazy Tesuji way to save her group. She tries Hane and Atari like this. This is a common shape, and there's a common Tesuji for Black here, which is to make a double Atari. Now, White needs to capture to save both of her stones, and Black can make a ko like this. So this is actually a ko to surround the White bottom side group. White can double Atari. This ko is enormous. If White wins the ko, it'll be a capture. So that's a double Panuki, instantly saving all the White stones, threatening to cut Black in the center. And when Black captures, you can see that Black's winning the ko would be capturing this one stone. That makes Black's double Panuki, kills the White group on the bottom, threatens to kill the White group in the bottom left. This ko is so huge. So you really need some huge ko threats if you want to fight this ko. Luckily, White has one or two of those. She plays Tiger's Mouth here. The idea is that even though black takes a double Funuki, if I can cut and kill your bottom side group, then my bottom side group will be okay, my center group will be okay, because I capture you all, white would be ahead. Yeah, fair idea. Black plays wedge here. This is a common Tetsuji. Whenever you want to connect a one-space jump and your opponent has one-space jumps nearby, you can think about the wedge here. If your opponent answers outside, as Sumire does in the game, and you just connect, then often they leave too many weaknesses to be able to actually go after you and cut you anymore. Even though you don't connect, Wei has like several weaknesses in the center. There's no way that Wei could cut and kill this black group on the bottom side. If instead of this, Sumire had Atari the other side, that way, then black could extend once, white would need to fix this cutting point, and then connecting the one space jump would come in Sente. Now you can see black basically has Mii, either I win the ko, or I cut and try to kill your group in the center. This would be very bad for white. So that's why white played on the outside, and Asami connected, and Sumire said time to take the ko again, because this ko is enormous, this ko is really big. Even though she allows this black cut, she has to connect. She says maybe this is worth it because I'm trying to win this ko really hard. She even plays this ko threat, and black responds. To be honest, black didn't even need to respond. Black could have captured and allowed white to connect to her center, saving the bottom side, saving the center all completely solidly, and capturing the entire bottom side. This trading was really close because the black double Funuki over here, in comparison to a white double Funuki, the difference is massive. You can imagine black's next move somewhere here, attacking this white group, almost kills it. It's really hard actually to save, and then after that, black even has some benefits on the left side. Okay, Asami chose to save instead, which is a sensible decision to save your group, and Sumire takes the ko. Now Asami plays a fuzzy co-threat of extending here. She's hoping that she can counterattack this white group and that she can capture this one stone to save her group on the bottom side. But white plays a very testing move, which is just connecting here. And this is one of the critical moments in the game, one of the most critical moments in all the chaos. Black has two options here. She can connect like she does in the game, or she can try to win the ko. And trying to win this ko should usually come with dying with the whole black group there. That seems pretty bad, but let's check into it. Let's look into it and see whether that could have potentially been okay. So of course white would try to cut and black could block, and white can even try to win the ko again. White doesn't have to commit to killings, but keep trying to win the ko. Luckily black has a ko threat, and white can continue like this. Now if black Ataris here, of course the threat to kill the bottom side wouldn't work if you capture these two stones, so this is a big enough ko threat that white can't capture. And finally black can win the ko like this. Now at the end of the day, the black bottom side group, it has one eye, maybe, if you're lucky, and maybe about 7 liberties or so. The capturing white groups, the center, it should be able to make 7 liberties, so it should be able to capture this black. The bottom side white, well, even if black plays first, actually white will win that capturing race by 1 liberty on the bottom side. I'll spare you the details in favor of time. And the most weak group is the white 4 stones in the center. Those ones might not be able to get 7 liberties, so you can expect that white would protect them somehow. At the end of the day, that black group is dead. It's dead. And black has a double Funuki here, but actually black has a lot of territory around the board. If you remember this fighting, it was like black invading the Moyo, right? Black invading white's Moyo. Then black broke like all the Moyo and got a big territory as she does it. Dying here is actually a good strategy for Ueno Asami. After this, she can take some initiative on the side, something like this, forcing white to somehow save the group. If I just make the territory boxes now, you can imagine black gets all of that, something there. Black gets the corner here, black gets the right side, that's, quite a lot, even the little bit there. And black has something in this corner for sure, and is going to have something around that double Funuki too. Meanwhile, white has all of these stones. Obviously, that's quite a lot, but white will probably have to capture them as one of the groups that's capturing it doesn't make 2 eyes. So that's a lot of moves that Wei will have to spend in her own territory later. And her other territories are just not that big. So you can see when I show you this board, Black just has more territory. Black's like main group of 14 stones is all dead, but Black has a lot of territory. So this trading, where you intentionally die with the massive group of 14 stones that your opponent has been trying to kill, this was actually correct. The Ko was bigger than saving that group, and Ueno Asami's connect here was actually problematic because White can win the Ko, and it's even threatening to disconnect this Black, to try to surround this Black. The whole Black group is still in big danger, even though she connects there. Okay, but Ueno Asami had played a Ko threat, and Sumire ignored it. The Ko threat was extending here, and then making sure that the bottom side group was relatively strong, and Sumire just won the Ko, so Asami has to try to chase the white group in the upper right. That's her only hope in the game, so she turns, White jumps. She's trying to make a big area as fast as she can. Black seals it off from the center. White connects, aiming to cut Black in the center. Black bamboos. And White plays this block. Technically, this white group is not alive with this block, but it does have a lot of liberties, which means it's going to be favored in a lot of capture races, such as against the Black bottom side group. However, this is going to be pretty dangerous, and I'm going to have to show you guys a lot of variations where this not quite living means that White will flat out die later in the game. More on that later. For now, Asami just connects here. She's looking to run her group out, get more liberties, maybe attack these 3 stones in the center. They jump. They're looking to surround the Black group in turn. And Black plays this jump here. She's looking to run, and she thinks that White can't cut. So White plays this move. Black answers. This is because Sumire knows that her group is not technically alive, so she's hoping that she can get just enough power that it would be able to save itself, and now she goes for a surround on the group. If Sumire would try to cut like this, then Black's plan was to cut like this and then rechase the white 5 stones. Actually, it's pretty hard to save those white 5 stones. You can imagine them getting surrounded, and they're not likely to win a liberty race against this massive Black group on the bottom side. So Sumire tries to surround from the center, like so, and Black plays this wedge. It's the same technique that I told you about before. If Sumire would play Atari inside, then Black could connect here in Sente and gain quite a lot. That's why Sumire played from the outside like this and connected like so. And it's hard to even tell that this was the losing move for Ueno Asami. She just cuts now and plays here, and she plays an exchange on the side and plays here. This would normally be considered good, because the Black group manages to run to the left more efficiently than just connecting, that lame connect your one space jump, but instead to put pressure on the white stones as you run. It's more efficient. It should be better. But this was the losing move. The losing move was initially to wedge here and to try to run to give White more strength in the center. Why? Because instead of this, Black had an opportunity to capture the white group in the upper right. If Black would play, as in the game, this Kasumi, which was blocked, and then play this move, reducing eye space, White can block and kill. The Black group on the bottom side has a lot of liberties. It's about 12, actually. About 12 liberties on the bottom side. Even though it doesn't have an eye, this white group, although it can run like quite far, I'm not entirely sure that it can get 12 liberties. And by I'm not entirely sure, I mean it can't. Even though you can play like this and this move, even you can attach here, looking for Aji on the side. You can play this connect in Sente, looking for a beautiful wedge Tetsuji here. Black has to answer. White has a lot of liberties, but it's not 12. It's not quite 12 liberties. That's like a lot of liberties. White's only option to try to save this group is to use the Aji on the top side, and to eventually use the Aji that the black stones in the upper center can be weak. So if White would push here and cut like this, threatening to capture this one stone and make an eye, Black can save. Then White could Atari, press, Black needs to save again, and could play here. You can see this White group has a lot of liberties. It's actually pretty hard for this Black group to get that many. But for now, it would just barely work. It would work. This Black group, if it just runs to the center, it's going to be able to just barely get enough liberties to capture this White group on the side. So if this White group is strong in capture races, but it can't capture the Black in the center, and it can't capture the Black on the bottom, it's not going to live. It's all dead. This is Ueno Asami's chance to win the game. But Ueno Asami played here in the game. I'll leave the previous variation up so you can see just how much harm this exchange does. You see now, White's only hope to save her group on the right center was to be able to reattack the Black stones on the top side. Those stones were going to run to the center on the left side to get enough liberties, but now they're restricted. They can't do that anymore. If Black would play here, then White can block like this, and White can seal them in because White has so much extra strength in the bottom center. This White group on the right center could actually die before Black played here, but the surrounding Black was so thin that even just giving White these extra 2 moves of blocking and Tiger's Mouth was enough that this White group is now, for the moment, going to be able to survive. It's crazy. Essentially, Ueno Asami had to figure out the whole life and death of this group and wherever it could run, and find out where all the weaknesses were, and understand that the bottom side group was actually not that weak after all. Basically, Ueno Asami, she tried to solve this position by running the bottom side group out to the left and say, I can save it, you can save it. At the end of the day, I have so much territory everywhere. But that running to the left is like really awkward, and you're gonna see how that group gets in a lot of trouble later. It would have been better to just try to kill right away, and we could forgive her for not wanting to commit to such a violent action. Still, she gets in big trouble after it. White extends here. White is saying, hey, your stones there aren't going to get off so easy, and even if you can save them somehow, I want to get the benefit of territory on the left side. Asami plays this move. This is the vital point often when your opponent tries to connect with a large knight and they're thin in that area. If you want to cut it, then you can play at the small knight. You can say that's the shape that you could have had if you had been strong. You aren't, so I'll take it. Then White pushes once. Black has to descend to not allow White a cutting point, and White plays the clamping move here. This mostly connects the group on the left back on the second line to her group in the bottom left, and White is pretty much strong on the left side. So it looks like this is basically a doomed venture for Black, that it hasn't worked, that this Black bottom side group, well, if it can't capture the White upper right center anymore, then what can it do? Well, there's still another resource, and Ueno Asami has shown throughout these 3 games great resources in defending her groups. She finds it brilliantly. She plays Peep and Hane here. This intends to take away the eye space of the White group in the upper left, which looked so strong, but is it really strong enough to capture the Black group on the bottom side? It's quite a narrow margin. Sumire plays a time Suji here, so she was definitely using all of her time to think about what was the most important thing to defend right now, and eventually she chooses to push here. Now, since I just explained about how the Black group on the top side was the thing that was preventing Black from killing the White upper right center, you must be wondering whether Ueno Asami can Tenuki this and try to kill the upper right center. And the answer is yes, she can. She can try. And it probably works. This stuff, I'm pretty sure that this is going to work for black. And black can capture. But it's not as easy as it was a couple turns ago because black lost some liberties with her group on the bottom side. At this point, I think that the liberty race between the black bottom side group and the white group in the upper right is 1 liberty in favor of black. And white even has some tricks to try to make it a co or something like that. I'm pretty sure though that this would be a winning variation for black. However, it's really hard, and we can forgive them. Both of these groups have about 12 liberties right now, so we can forgive them for not committing extremely hard into a 12v12 capture race with some co's involved. Instead, Yuano Asami plays the block here, and Sumire cuts. Yuano Asami plays Tiger's Mouth here, and Sumire plays Atari. So they're looking to make a ko here. Basically, Sumire is trying to defend her group in the upper left as efficiently as she possibly can by using the black weaknesses on the left side. So suddenly we have another ko. I told you guys this game was going to be chaos and intensity all the way through, right? Another ko, and this white group is like practically dead the whole time, and maybe the black group will be dead instead or something. It's really confusing. I'm sure that the players also didn't know what they were doing at this point in the game. But eventually, when Sumire plays this co-threat, Asami decided, I will capture. That co-threat, it looks like it's just sort of a normal move. Like this is just sort of a I'll submit, I'll just live by myself. And so Yuano Asami didn't want to continue fighting aggressively and have to answer all the co-threats, which just try to live the white group passively. However, this gives Sumire finally the chance to settle into a winning position. She plays Atari here and Tiger's Mouth here. Then Yuano Asami blocks. This finally fixes her problems on the top side, which means it's solidly sente against this group on the right center for white. White fixes like this. Finally, the white group is alive at last. And the black group is still in some trouble. So black plays this Atari. White actually tenukis. The reason why white tenukis here, if white would answer like this, it just is very heavy for white, and she knows she doesn't have to capture this whole thing to win the game. Actually, white already leads on territory. When white plays the cut here and allows black to capture, at last, we can take a breath, see the territories, figure out what's going on. At the end, black managed to capture her upper left corner. She still has some of her upper right corner, but the right side was reduced for sure for black. White still has all of her lower left. White has still her good power on the left side and the bottom center. Black still has this. This situation is winning for white because white gained both by reducing the right side and in terms of her potential on the top side. So it was very chaotic. There were trades all the way back and forth, but eventually Sumire knows, she understands, I don't have to keep going all in. I can just calm down once I have a winning position. This position is white winning by about 10 points according to AI. Sumire relaxes. She just plays Endgame. Hane, connect, nothing special. I just take the opportunity to increase my territory. I let you save your group. I win the game solidly from here on. Now, Yuano Asami has something to say about that, of course. She makes an Atari here. She makes this cut. It's quite exciting. Sumire should answer this way. She shouldn't just give away free points just because she thinks he's ahead. Then Asami gets an opportunity to break into the left side quite a bit. And Sumire has to try to connect to make sure that her groups are safe and to keep the threat to cut this black. This black is able to connect here just by the skin of its teeth. Sumire, I'm sure, would have wanted to cut here, but then black could play this Atari and then block here and capture the white 4-stone. So Sumire had to answer that, connect here, and finally, after black plays one more peep, black connects, White connects like this. White managed to take a better position in the center, capture a little more territory there, while Black reduced the left side. This endgame sequence was just relatively even, nothing particularly special. So Yuano Asami needs to do something. She connects here, it's Atari, White answers, and cuts like this. Sumire's center group is in danger. Asami is trying to cut it off and capture the whole center. Sumire, though, calm. She understands all she needs to do is be stable to win this game. She hanes, Black plays this move, she connects, Black cuts, she cuts. Sumire actively sacrificed her huge group in the center. That's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stones in the center and more points besides. That's like 30 points of gain for Black. She just sacrifices it, let it go to cut in the corner and take the clear gain that she can have in return. Black plays Atari here. She's fighting desperately, but Sumire finds extend here, which is a great move. Black has to connect or else White would cut and capture those 2 stones, save the whole group again. And Sumire gets the opportunity to capture that 1 stone, Black and Atari, and live in the corner. That's a living shape. But compared to the corner this used to be, of course, Black is much reduced, and Black took Gote in the end. So this endgame sequence, although Sumire died with 10 stones, it was still only even. Asami still hasn't made a comeback. Sumire now hanes here. She's looking to put pressure on the bottom left Black group, and when Asami just saves her 2 stones, Sumire plays the connect in hopes to handle the life and death on the bottom left. Asami tries this move to live and makes a ko like this. Asami makes a ko-threat, and Sumire makes a ko-threat. Asami makes what she must have thought would be a ko-threat that White would simply block, but White turns here. Actually, this turn kills the corner without ko, which we'll see later. It was a really good move by Sumire. You can see she doesn't really want to fight this ko. She was just fighting it to keep some pressure on Black, not give her any easy way, but as soon as there was an opportunity that Sumire could make some loss, calm. Black takes the right side. This is a massive move to secure the territory there, and White reduces from the top side, forcing Black to answer to her cutting points. Now Black doesn't have to answer to that one because the White group in the center is dead, remember? And Black simply goes to take endgame. It's nothing special. It's just your normal big endgame sequence. Eventually, White even spends this move inside. This is just to make absolutely sure there's no shenaniganry that could happen in the corner. Black connects here. Sumire connects on the center. Black captures those 2 stones. And Sumire takes some endgame towards the top side. From here, everything is stable. You can see Sumire even just connects this way, making sure there's no possibility for some crazy ko. Just connect all the things which could be hard. And at this moment, Yuano Asami resigns. The reason why, if Asami would capture here, Sumire will throw in once this way. If Asami captures again, then this shape is dead. And if Asami would connect here, then Sumire can just connect here. And once again, this shape is dead because this Black is not an eye. So there's no way at this point to save this Black group. Yuano Asami knows that she's at this point quite a distance behind. She's 20 points behind now. She resigns the game. And Nakamura Sumire becomes the youngest ever female Kisei champion. A spectacular performance from her. Really great games, all 3 of these games. It was loads of fun. And I have to say thank you to all of you guys who have watched and subbed and left such wonderful comments. I really, really appreciated it. I did not dream that these videos are going to pop off so much, and it really has been making my day every day for the last couple weeks as I've worked on this. I hope you guys enjoyed this last video just as much as the first 2. Of course, if you did, remember to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. I'll be doing more similar content in the future, possibly of my own games or the North American, European, and interesting tournaments around the world. So look forward to that, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye-bye.